in Haaretz, one of Israel's main newspapers, reported bluntly, "The war in Iraq was conceived by 25 neoconservative intellectuals, most of them Jewish, who are pushing President Bush to change the course of history." The article gave what it termed a partial list. U.S. governmental officials Richard Perle, Paul Wolfowitz, Douglas Feith, Elliot Abrams, journalists William Crystal and Charles Krauthammer, describing them as mutual friends who cultivate one another. The article included an interview with New York Times columnist Thomas Friedman, who was quoted as saying, "It's the war the neoconservatives wanted. It's the war the neoconservatives marketed. Those people had an idea to sell when September 11th came, and they sold it. Oh boy, did they sell it. So this is not a war that the masses demanded. This is a war of an elite." The article continued. Friedman laughs. "I could give you the names of 25 people, all of whom are at this moment within a 5-mile block radius of this office, who, if you had exiled them to a desert island a year and a half ago, the Iraq War would not have happened." Another Israeli newspaper described how some of these individuals, high American officials, gave Israeli leaders tips on how to manage American actions and influence U.S. congressmen, concluding, "Perle, Feith, and their fellow strategists are walking a fine line between their loyalty to American governments and Israeli interests." American author, peace activist, and former CIA analyst Kathleen Christensen discussed the situation in a 2002 article, reporting, "Although much has been written about the neocons who dot the Bush administration, their ties to Israel have generally been treated very gingerly. The Bush administration," she wrote, "was peppered with people who have long records of activism on behalf of Israel in the United States, of policy advocacy in Israel, and of promoting an agenda for Israel often at odds with existing U.S. policy. These people," she wrote, "who can fairly be called Israeli loyalists, are now at all levels of government, from desk officers at the Defense Department to the Deputy Secretary level at both State and Defense, as well as on the National Security Council staff and in the Vice President's office.